Welcome back to Corner Stories. Today we have a story with multiple updates. This is a bit of a wild story, so content warning, this is not safe for work. Earphones are recommended. So I, 28M, and my wife Gwen, 29F, met 5 years ago at a lunch and really connected, lust at first sight, dated for a year, and when she got a job offer in another city I asked her to marry me and stay. She stayed but wanted an open relationship because she was bi. We opened up 6 months later and got married soon after. We both date separately. I have a couple of FWBs and she has a girlfriend who I adore. Last year she started dating a couple MF, Tom and Kathy. They do an overnight every other weekend or so. The two girls are super close and her husband plays with them sometimes. Last month they told Gwen they are hosting a kink event and wanted her to attend. They really built it up as a large event and got her pumped up. She came home and was telling me everything about it and I expressed a desire to go with her as we have been getting into different things lately. She was talking to Kathy and mentioned we were looking forward to attending and was asking more questions. Towards the end of her call Kathy was asking if Gwen truly wanted me to attend or if I was insisting on attending. Gwen explained how we were looking to spice up our routine and this event sounded exciting for both of us. That next weekend Gwen went to Tom and Kathy's place and had a good time, but before she left Tom said that the event was invitation only and not a +1 event. Gwen got a little upset, but Kathy said they could work something out where everyone was happy. Gwen came home upset and told me what had transpired and how she was unhappy with how things worked out, especially Tom waiting till she was about to leave to spring the news to her. I was disappointed and told her if she wanted to go without me there would be other events we could go to together. But she was confident in what Kathy told her and was sure we could go together. Gwen reached out to Kathy a couple of times but never got a firm answer. Gwen left Friday to spend the night at Tom and Kathy's again but called me about 9 p.m. asking if I was out or at home and was heading back to our house. I met her there and she was super emotional. She said she asked about the event when she got there and they evaded discussing it and she told Kathy she was not comfortable being around Tom tonight and the two of them went off together and talked about it. Kathy told Gwen that there was another kink event in January at a club that the four of us could attend together but that I wouldn't be able to attend this event at their house. Gwen told her that she and I had already scheduled that night as a date night and if I wasn't welcome she wouldn't be able to attend either. After some more discussion Gwen said that maybe they needed to take a break and maybe in January after that event she could re-evaluate their relationship. She left without talking to Tom but he called her on her way home and accused her of holding Kathy's feelings hostage and how wrong that was. Gwen told him nothing of the kind but she felt they weren't taking her feelings into account either and accused Tom of not wanting me there because they didn't want to share Gwen's attention and I would have spoiled their plans. She said he got quiet and Gwen told him not to contact her again. Gwen cried on my shoulder the rest of the night and I told her she was right to end things with them. Kathy tried to call the next morning at least 5 times but Gwen wouldn't answer. She left several teary voicemails pleading with Gwen to talk to her and left 2 long text messages and emails. I'm trying to stay neutral but it wouldn't bother me if she shut the door on that relationship. But Gwen and Kathy had a strong bond for over a year and I can tell it's taking a toll on Gwen. Since there are multiple updates I intended to quickly move on to them, but I saw that OP responded to a few comments so I will add the comments and responses then move on to the updates. Commenter, I do find it somewhat odd that you and your wife both assumed you were invited to the event though. I don't assume I'm invited to every party my metas throw even if it's a big party. OP's response, I only learned of it through my wife as I have almost no contact with the couple. But she was told there would be several couples so I guess she just assumed we could go as a couple. It wasn't until she told Kathy we would be there that Gwen learned I wasn't invited. Commenter, I'm really sorry. It sounds like Tom and Kathy are either unicorn hunters or harem builders. The ENM, polyamory, and kink scenes are infested with both types of couples. Tom and Kathy don't want you at their house because they don't want you ever involved with them. They're considering having you show up to a public event where it's a lot less intimate and frankly more safe. As a kinkster my alarm bells are going off that they want to isolate Gwen from both you and the public when introducing her to BDSM. It's very easy for a newbie to find themselves in a situation where they are way over their head. She will have no one available to advocate for her or intervene and get her out other than the couple who tried to blackmail her into attending. OP's response, I doubt they had any intention of attending an event with both of us later. I believe it was just a ploy to get Gwen to agree to attend this event without me. And hearing about your alarm bells brings up issues we hadn't thought of and now I am glad she is not going, especially without me there. Thanks for bringing those issues up. Mini update, so Kathy and Gwen had a long phone conversation on the speakerphone so I could listen. It got teary on both ends and lasted half an hour. I'll give you the high points. They both still have strong feelings for each other and want to continue seeing each other. Gwen told her she felt Tom didn't give her an answer about the party until she was about to leave so he could have sex with the both of them. Kathy apologized for the way they invited her without making things clear. She said it still might be possible for me to attend and she was working on making it happen. Gwen then dropped the bomb that it was a moot point anyway since we had decided that their house was no longer a safe space for her, even with me accompanying her there. She also didn't want any physical contact of any kind with Tom ever again and that she and Kathy would have to meet at our house where she felt safe. Gwen offered to cook dinner for her Friday or Saturday and Kathy could spend the night. Kathy didn't say no but said she would have to see. A lot more talk about how they missed each other and they ended the call. I don't know if she has the autonomy to do that, but time will tell. I'm sure it won't go over well with Tom. Also, we never talked about their house not being a safe place. That was Gwen's idea in the moment. Update 2, Gwen came home with a big grin and a couple of messages and first was a text from Kathy saying she would love to come to dinner at our house this Saturday and possibly stay the night. She also requested that the three of us have dinner together. She is anxious to finally get to know me better. Second was an email from Tom. He apologized for making a lot of grave errors around the party and how he handled things. He was also very disturbed that Gwen and I no longer considered their house a safe place. He wants to take all of us out to dinner somewhere and discuss things and mend some fences. He was very contrite and took the blame for all the mistakes that were made. Gwen told Kathy we could see her anytime after 6 on Saturday. She had also composed a response to Tom's email. It was lengthy and I told her she could have easily just shortened it to a pound sand. I talked her out of her version and told her to just agree to meet them in a couple of weeks so she could see how her date with Kathy went first. Update 3, so Kathy took my wife up on her invitation for dinner and a date at our house. My beef ribs came out perfect and the whole dinner was spot on. Kathy went on and on about how good everything was and we had a good conversation but skirting some of the issues Gwen had lately. I stayed long enough to help put the leftovers away and load the dishwasher, and then I opened the second bottle of wine and made my exit. When I got back after 11 p.m. they were in the spare bedroom with the door closed and I slipped into the shower and got ready for bed. Gwen popped in and said goodnight and I heard her open her drawer. She said Kathy was staying the night. Curious, after she shut our door I looked in her drawer and several toys and some lube were missing. I woke up to the smell of fresh cinnamon rolls, came into the kitchen to find them both at the table drinking coffee. Kathy got up and thanked us for a wonderful time and gave me a hug before grabbing her bag and heading for the door. Gwen walked her out to her car and they hugged and kissed before Kathy drove off. Gwen said they had a great time and got up for another cup of coffee and made me wait and ask about anything else. She smiled and said before I got back they were cleaning up a little and Kathy asked if I was coming back. Then she said she wished I would reconsider coming next weekend to the party. Gwen told her we had both had some interest in exploring but wanted our first exposure to be together. Then she went on to say how underhanded Tom had handled it and strung her along by not giving a definite answer until the next morning after he got to play with the both of them. After having been manipulated like that she didn't feel safe at their house anymore, especially at a party like that. She said Kathy changed the subject and asked if we had given Tom's invitation to dinner any thought. They talked about it and Gwen told Kathy maybe we could do it this Friday, the day before the event, otherwise it would have to wait till after the first of the year with the holidays falling the way they did. Gwen brought up when Kathy wanted to schedule another date and they both decided to hold off till after the holidays. We were both surprised she didn't try to pressure Gwen more and just dropped everything after casually mentioning them. Depending on how dinner with Tom goes, Gwen want to continue on with Kathy. Update 4, so Gwen and I took Tom up on his offer to take us out for dinner to try and mend some fences and clear the air. It was a nice restaurant, not too loud we couldn't talk and not so quiet we couldn't talk about delicate topics without being overheard. Tom apologized for not being clear about the party and communicating better. He was sorry Gwen felt unsafe at their house now and hoped after the dust settled they could take turns hosting their get-togethers. Gwen was quick to point out that she felt manipulated by not getting a straight answer about her request and being strung along with promises to work out something and that there was some wiggle room where an accommodation could be made for me to attend. That last part she was staring at Kathy the whole time. To top it off she felt used when she wasn't given a final answer until after Tom got a chance to get in her pants. Kathy was the one to apologize now and said that was never her intention and that she wanted Gwen at the event and was trying to find a workaround to make that happen. Gwen said because of the way things went down she no longer felt safe at their house, especially if Tom was there, and now there was no way she would attend even if I was invited. Luckily, the food came out and the temperature at the table came down a few degrees. As the dinner wound down, Tom extended an invitation to a New Year's Eve party one of his friends was throwing. He said it would be a great opportunity for us to meet some of his friends and for Tom and Kathy to get a chance to know me better. I thanked him for the invitation but declined as we were already going to one of my partner's house to their party. Gwen told Kathy after Christmas they should get together again and they hugged it out. I shook Tom's hand and thanked him for dinner, but when he went to say goodbye to Gwen, she managed to keep the table between them. Overall, the dinner stayed pretty civil, no yelling or blood was spilled, but it did get a little chilly at times. With any luck, Gwen can salvage her relationship with Kathy and continue going forward. Comments: what should have been an immediate red flag was the work something out about the party invite. It's their party, what is there to work out? They're the ones who decide who to invite. Working something out is chicken shit for no. I was so annoyed they didn't call them out on that. Work what out? Buying extra place settings? We'll bring paper plates, it's fine. Honestly, this is a train wreck, and even the description of the reconciliation dinner felt so weird and stiff, especially when it came to Tom. That guy sees OP's wife as his plaything and doesn't want OP involved at all. This is messy and is going to stay messy. OP and Gwen are kidding themselves. And that is all we have for this story. I will update if there is anything further. But I gotta say, this story was wild and full of red flags. Tom may as well be dipped in red ink because I so do not trust him. And I feel that the backtracking he is doing is only for a short period until he gets Gwen back into his house, and I really hope OP and Gwen come to their senses and get away from that couple. Even if Kathy means no harm, she seems to be a tool that Tom uses to get what he wants, and she is all too willing to do his bidding. It is really concerning. And this is where I will leave you. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Corner Stories signing off.